Yeah, so now when we look at what Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about, it's highly important to understand that everything she said is what they did. They chunked up a whole group. Two or three people got killed, directly killed. You know what I'm saying? And one had a heart attack, which they probably put something in his drink anyway. But anyway, and because they love doing nasty handed shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just something about them that really irks the fuck out of you. But anyway, they sit up there and they did this bullshit in all ways when we look at it. So now they have this insurrection all together, the rushing of the White House, the carrying on, everything set plan. When the shit was going down, I said the same thing. I thought they were going to bring in the National Guard. I've never seen them not bring in the National Guard or something like that when it gets to that type of point. And then you're talking about the Washington Capitol so-called White House, you know what I'm saying, which is probably a black house, but you know what I'm saying, they call it a White House and all that, and that's the nation's capital and it's supposed to be fully protected. And you saw where it was a situation where they were saying that they even was overrunning the Capitol Police. So why wasn't the National Guard immediately called in, even from day one, when it first jumped off? You know what I'm saying? The National Guard should have already been there. Then they had the National Guard and put fences around the White House after all the bullshit went down to make it look good, like they really trying to protect the White House, and that's what they really trying to do. So they put all kinds of little fences and had National Guard out there and so forth. Why you didn't do that when the other stuff was going on? And why did Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, who's supposed to be the sergeant at arms, an idiot at that? No, child, I'm the sergeant at arms. She's a sergeant of Baphomet and Luciferian deep state Zionist bullshit. That's what she's cheating. So she didn't call in nobody. Chuck the Dog Schumer, who you re-elected again and put him right back in out there to do the dirty shit that he's always been doing, sneaky ass shit to make himself look like he's so important and he's up front there looking with his glasses on like he top dog and shit and he up there doing nothing but you fucking garbage. Working for the Zionists as well. You know what I'm saying? So in many ways, and those who control this world, you know what I'm saying, that we don't never see that have so much pull that they could call in the U.S. military or have you whack in just a second, the same way they whack you like a Cracker Jack's box. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they did. So now that you have all this put together, the motorcade car story slammed together, Michael Pence, crooked traitorous ass together, you have them rushing the White House, and then you have them going in and swinging and all this different stuff. All those rabble people were working for probably the Zionists and the Demon Democrats and the FBI and the CIA and whoever else was involved. You know what I'm saying? Because all our branches of government, like I mentioned before, are in full corruption. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? If you have to go back and listen to what Marjorie Taylor Greene really said, you need to really look it up and go see, because it's on there for you to be able to look up what's the name of everything that you can find it, you know what I'm saying? And really start to investigate into that, because this is where majority of the bad name on Trump came from. You know what I'm saying? Second thing, it was going to happen that way because they had to cheat the election in order to do what we see is going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The war in Gaza, Ukraine, Syria, and many other places in Africa. They've been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying? Many African people have lost their lives to a lot of bullshit that seems to keep on going on in Africa, and Africa can't seem to know no peace. Seem to know no peace. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at many of the stuff that was done at that White House, it was all chumped up by the demon Democrats in order to bring about a law in a law that they figured would definitely seal his fate You know what I'm saying, coming out of the law books that was written against the Confederate rebels and the rest of them who wanted to now live a life and come back into government. You use that same law on Donald Trump to make the world believe that he had committed such a constitutional law that that law deemed him either to be in prison or completely never be able to run for government again, because that was the law that was put on the rebel Confederates and the demon Democrats and all the bullshit that they were doing. That, you know what I'm saying, that if they get caught, they would never be able to have anything to do with government again and would be totally kicked out. So they figured they would use that one on Donald Trump, and the world would have accepted it, and that would have went through the courts and filled up the courts and all this and that, and then they would have a January. They would immediately formulate a committee. And that committee job was to make it look like this is some serious shit. You know what I'm saying? When we know for well it was no more than a full-blooded, blown act that and you know when they do their acts, we're not talking about like a regular act on TV or a regular act out here in the street. You know, we're talking about an act that will take people's lives at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So many people know that this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So in more ways than one, we have to go back and take a long look at what really took place and why it was so important for them, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the rest of them to chump up what we call an insurrection. You know what I'm saying? And to bring forth those laws. In many ways, that is some treasonous shit if I ever seen it. And that is a forcing of the wrong people into our government that would sit there in the public eye figure and do the dirty work of the beast that is controlling him. You know what I'm saying? Now, he's up there talking about Trump didn't certify the election, but the election moved too fast. That's another thing that gave it away. When it came to the election, everything moved too fast. And that's how we know that you cheated the election all the way through, even when it came to even mail-in ballots and probably many other bullshitical tricks, Xerox and copies and all kinds of bullshit tricks that you have done, throwing out ballots and all types of bullshit. You were up to the same old bullshit because you were within your mind that you would have to cheat this election to put Creep Joe Biden in there, and he would be the representation of saying this is right and this is right and that is right. But in the meantime, in the back, somebody got a fucking hand up his back like a puppet and got him on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And he is doing all the crooked shit that they always wanted to do, including his ass as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So we know for well that the people should understand that when you vote these type of people or even support these type of people and still supporting them now, you're sending a clear message to the rest of the world and human life that it's all right for a tyrant motherfucker dude to get put in there no matter how the consequences or the controversy of the tricks of the games that they play, and then try to reverse it around in reverse psychology and call it conspiracy theorists. And then you censor the media that the people can't explain their conspiracy theorists and why they have this type of thinking that you claim that you saying that they are. You know what I'm saying? Which means that you are full of shit. In other words, so now once you do that and you're still supporting this individual, he actually believed that every single game and trick that he played, he got away with, and they're in there and ain't nothing people gonna do because the whole world is looking at the fact that we're right and you're wrong. And then when you put these type of people or allow them to be in there and not be challenged even on the vote and the corruption of the voting process, and they get put in there, you know what I'm saying, now they feel they could do just about anything to you and then tell you all kinds of sweet words of rhythms and how this, how that, how Trump this, Trump that, knows everything was Trump, 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 all the way through because that's the way, because now you put them in there, you know what I'm saying? And he's in there and he feel that, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna sweet talk you and Greek talk you and all this bullshit talk, and then also have the executive the constitutional executive immunity and all type of shit, and they could just go in and do a whole bunch of shit and about literally walk away after killing billions of people. When you put people like them in, you know what I'm saying, you put them in and now it's irreversible or even challenged. You know what I'm saying? This election that went by 2020 should have been challenged all the way through, and people should have been thinking more clearly. But you had Black Lives Matter and all types of motherfuckers going on there killing black people, you know what I'm saying? As if like they wasn't doing that in the neighborhood already many times over in many neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all right when you killing each other. Black people is killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Where's the Black Lives Matter then? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Black Lives Matter because it becomes a gang issue or something that should not be on the streets in front of our children or anywhere around people who's just trying to have a good time in a club. How do you go from doing it in a neighborhood to taking it to every single party and every single club? There's always something that's going to happen, you can guarantee, you know what I'm saying, at the club. You know what I'm saying? Rather than take your shit down the road or over there, you know, behind the Korean store, you know what I'm saying? You bring it inside the club. And then something happens and somebody gets murdered. And many other scenarios in the neighborhood itself based on many things that needs to be changed and needs to be washed away and need to be put into a certain perspective. And the OGs should know what I mean. And the young ducks who's out there doing the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Whoever you following, you need to stop following and stop writing them symbols on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And opening portholes and all types of shit according to your stuff that you are doing. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at when you put these people in there, like people Divine and them, and now he's in there, that particular position he's in is the commander in chief seat. Now, in the process of achieving the commander seat, you have to look at it from the perspective that he's in a position where he has to sweet talk the world, or he has to do certain things to the world, and then he got to do a little pushing in, a little moving in there, and that's what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? But once you put him in there, sometimes the damage in which you allowed in to not paying attention on all realms before, and you put them in, sometimes that damage can be irreversible. This is the problem. Irreversible. Same thing when you look at the vaccines and the mandates and the so-called big virus coming on in. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates, all they're talking about is coming on in, and I got the medicine already spread across the planet. So like maybe 40 years ago, so everybody ready to do the big time depopulation, you know what I'm saying, trickery garbage that you got going on, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of different bullshit, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you have done. And we know it's garbage, and we know it's been done. So, you know what I'm saying, even that is another situation that we are looking at based on when you allow certain people in. Now, when you're voting, and people are voting like in 2020, and we see all this different confusion going on between different factions or groups. And black, like she call them BLM, I call them licking them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talking about Black Lives Matter, the bomb licking them group out there going through the neighborhoods doing all types of bullshit, reckoning it because they were told by Soros in order to do that. This is how Soros creates a destabilization of many countries. You know what I'm saying? Even what you see going on in Sudan with these two generals, you know what I'm saying? And how they displace and killing the people, raping the people. And when the people try to cross over in a certain path across Arabia, the Arabians over there, whoever shooting them with high-tech weapons and murdering the people and just, you know what I'm saying, a whole genocidal shit going on over there in Sudan as well. You know what I'm saying? And we think we don't know about it. But yes, we do. And the two generals over there, they're raping the women. There we go to rape again. You know what I'm saying? Then you go over to the Gaza Strip with Netanyahu, Yahoo, and he over there doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying, for what he called hostages and people that were killed, which we don't believe in many ways that this don't sound right somewhere, and then you come down with the hammer of the United States weaponry, billions of dollars they send you, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of other people saying that you God chosen people, you know what I'm saying, you over there raping the women and shit like that in your group and shit, and then talking shit, and in talking about in this book, you came into Egypt, you came into the land and you brought pure hell and harem just like the Ottoman Turks and the rest of your dumbass clowns who ever been in Africa and came from wherever the hell you came from. You are not from there. You know what I'm saying? So even when we look now, going back to the White House, you see how they was able to chop up what we call an insurrection. Notice that the word insurrection was constantly used. Now we go back over to Netanyahu. Notice how he keeps using the word anti-Semitic, 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 anti-Semitic. So what you call what you're doing to the Gazan people, anti-Loveretic, and then you're over there raping the women, but you God chosen people, yeah, you more like a crook, just like a gypsy or Sinbad and the 40 thieves. You know what I'm saying? You full of shit, just a shame, and you know more than a criminal and a beast on the land, and you're working for the Zionists as well. Deep stating like a motherfucker with his lead back fucked up head. You know what I'm saying? And Trump as well, you know what I'm saying, it seems to be the hero in this matter, but he also have to come to grips with what he believes in based on understanding what is going on, you know what I'm saying, in an invasion and an occupation that you are trying to even use in a biblical form to say that this is true and this is not and this is that. And we know that this is not true and this is not that. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, we need more advisors around Donald Trump, and he needs many people around him that's going to be educating, very educating, inspiring, and mentor in many ways to get him on the right track all the way around the board, even if it came down to a debate. You know what I'm saying? He has to have his homework in, ready, steady, and ready to go. No slipping and sliding on the tongue. And if you do, it has to pertain to, you know what I'm saying, what the issues are and what needs to be done and what we needs to get done right now. Because there needs to be a ceasefire immediately in the Gaza Strip, because it's no more than a murdering, bloodthirsty, blood and guts, bloody murder. Net and jackass Yahoo and these invading people. They've been doing this to the African people long before they did it to the Palestinian people. Many times you hearing reports and guns popping off in the background and they're showing you how they were shooting and killing. Many of that were the African people defending themselves against total invasion from all sides, even going back to the Arabs and them, you know what I'm saying? They brought Islam into Africa. Africa wasn't into that. They brought a lot of that shit in. Like General said, he said it probably came out the south, out of the kids before them other idiots. You know what I'm saying? And more ways, but you can go and get your teaching on, your lessons on with the general sorrow, assault, and setting, and then a whole lot of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Even when he's speaking about the second highest cancer rate in the world is in Africa, in the area they criminally renamed Israel. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you know, when they using it, it's definitely criminal anyway. You know what I'm saying? But we need to get that together. So when they creep up this insurrection and get this insurrection thing to go by, suppress many of the videos, they suppress many of the censor the media. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook is guilty of that in all shapes and forms and should be removed, and everybody should just dump his Facebook into the motherfucking garbage. You know what I'm saying? Many people need to grow up and stop being so bored. You know what I mean? And find another channel, go on Instagram, flood up Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of Facebook because he is a criminal in itself and his station is no more than a spy station just like you, all the rest of the channels. You know what I'm saying? Think people don't be looking at what's going on YouTube? So at the same time, when we see this insurrection was planned up and perfectly planned to make Trump look like the guilty guy when he did not say this and he did not say that, and you said that he did and you said that he did, and then when you look at it, when the National Guard was supposed to be there, knowing that people were going to come up and protest at the White House, you know what I'm saying? Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi spent like 5 hours before they even said they were going to call anybody. 5 hours. So they let the rule play out. They let the rule play out that everything had to go in and go across in order for it to be an insurrection. You see what I'm saying? It could not be that he said go up there and protest peacefully and patriotically. They cut that off. They censored that. So they only gave you the one part saying the only part they got was if you're gonna do something to save your country, you need to go up there and do something, and then before you could get to the patriot, you need to go up there and do something, peacefully and patriotically. They cut the peaceful and patriotically part out. So it left you thinking that he just told him to go up there and do something and wreck ass. You know what I'm saying? Then when it comes to the phone call, it was the same thing. Trump did not tell him, and nowhere in the phone call did I see, you know what I'm saying, even when they censored it, that he said go break in the ballot houses and kick asses, go in there and cheat and rip up all that Biden's creepy Joe Biden broke back bitch ballots and put all my ballots in there and go cheat over here and go cheat over there and go cheat everywhere, cheat to the dog to the right and the dog on the left. You know what I'm saying? And all that bullshit. I never saw that in that either. So how did the world see that? I don't know. Then when it came to the election and all this was done, you know what I'm saying? BLM, Black Lives Matter, smash and grab niggas and all kinds of bullshit. We know we're all done by the demon. So the whole plot, all the way in any insurrection that was made by the demon Democrat. Same thing when we have misinformation and disinformation. It's the same thing. Nobody was given misinformation or disinformation. Everybody in any type of situation like that, that's why they had to censor it. You had to censor your YouTube. They had to censor your other stuff on other channels. Take down videos and all type of stuff, because when you kicking them facts to crack Max, you know what I'm saying, they ain't gonna want you to do that. You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna make sure that they censor, because the people is not gonna go up there and just say all kinds of conspiratorial stuff that ain't true in many ways. Now you have a lot of rabble rousers and a lot of crooked motherfuckers who can get up here and talk some stupid ass space nominee, laser tag, laser beam, laser up your ass type XG500 bullshit to go conspiracy. But many of the people who got censored was the one bringing a lot of hard ground breaking facts about what was truly going on and what was being seen. And that is definitely, you know what I'm saying, even when it comes to the election and the counting of the numbers that you see on the screen. Notice the screen stayed at 213, 214, some bullshit like that, and never really moved after that. You know what I'm saying? There's no elections where those numbers weren't going up consistently. So a lot of the numbers that were supposed to be going up or was supposed to be counted and clicking on the tick time, you know what I'm saying, wasn't even showing. It was two stiff numbers, that's it. All of a sudden we hear that they cheated the election as well. But they had to put Trump in a bad light in them always, that when they do cheat, you know what I'm saying, he would be a sour loser in itself. And then he would be saying this and saying that. Mm-hmm. And that'll set him up in the whole American people's eyes as an insurrectionist. Same thing, and if that didn't work, then they had the Fannie Wills situation down there in Fulton County where her dumb ass is at. They had her ready to go. Then when you look over there, you had the Letitia James and the Alan Bragg shotgun killers on the other side ready to go. All chopped up in charges that would lead to something that you already knew, charges that you know that Creep Joe Biden and his family have done, and many other families in the White House have been done as long as their career has been in the positions that they are, with fat ass Braggs and fucking Letitia LGBTQ crooked, twisted, bubblegum head looking ass. I don't care how much good she do. You sold the American people out for something less than a couple of trinkets, length of a bottle cap that you throw away. You know what I'm saying? You sold the black community out by all means to me as well. You know what I'm saying? You and fat ass Brags, Fannie Wills, and the teacher, the Nutbuck James. You know what I'm saying? So they get no love here. You know what I'm saying? Because you were no more than a part of the setup in order to set up Donald J. Trump in a bad light to make sure that the whole world don't vote for him if you can't stop him from even running for office. So your whole shit that you did, even when it comes to Black Lives Matter again, you know what I'm saying, you would do something like that and use the black community to confuse and castrate and beat down the minds of the people while you're protesting, saying that you're protesting for killing of George Floyd, which I believe also was another setup for the world to see in order to put more fuel on the fire and give Black Lives Matter the life that they need and the different groups that you pay them to set up, and you pay them to recruit all types of people, and you pay them to do this and you pay them to do that, and go to every city and every town and just wreck and tear asses as you go. You know what I'm saying? Was no more than just another setup towards the whole plan itself. Like I said, these motherfuckers don't care because they figure to themselves that they got away with every single thing. And there is no way that you're going to be able to explain every single integral that you can explain, and the people will be able to understand or probably see it that way. So that means that in more ways than one, more research and more digging needs to be done when it comes to what took place at that Capitol. By all means, we need to know all the evidence and everything on the table. People, you have to do this in order to clean out your government and put your government in the right perspective. Because like I said, many times when you allow these people to pull these old holy apocalypse stunts and all the bullshit, war and killing and murdering of people, and you go in, many things that they do and the damage that they're going to do is going to be irreversible. And then you're going to say, oh, we should have never voted for him, but the damage was already done. You got to be more smarter than that now. You can't be led like a lamb right to the slaughter with your stupid ass crooked brains, and think that, you know what I'm saying, once you go along with the crooked brain shit, and then the shit go down and the shit happen the wrong way and everything get twisted, and Andy Fauci out there murdering and all kinds of bullshit and all kinds of dumb shit, you're going to be able to irreversibly take back what they did. No, you're not. All you're going to end up with is a shitty committee. You know what I mean? You end up with a shitty courthouse, a shitty committee, a shitty this, a shitty that, and all that bullshit that you're going to end up with a whole bunch of hearings and a whole bunch of speech and a whole this, but the shit still went down and the damage is already done. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to come better than that. So this is Point Blank saying, stay right, stay tight. We're going to stay in the fight no matter what. We're going to fight through the night until we get it right. Because we have to prepare the road. We have to plow the road. You know what I'm saying? We have to plow the road for our future kids and grandkids and many of them that's going to come after us. And they will not, and by us plowing the road, you know what I'm saying, and hoping that they stay on the right track in many different ways, will not pull a lot of this garbage that we see took place in 2020, and even with Hillary Clinton and Nixon and Bush and Obama and all these other motherfucking idiots, you know what I'm saying, dragged into their world as well. And now they're facing even worse consequences as far as we see, even when you talk about Elon Musk creating killer robots. So this is Point Blank saying, farewell. One. We will meet again.